Liftoff.
Hello and welcome to the Ability Zone. I am Paul Amadeus Lane. We are just days away from the Abilities Expo, Los Angeles, and I am so excited. Why? Because I get to talk to one of the great exhibitors that are going to be there. If you want to find out the list of some of the services and the vendors that are going to be there, go to our website, abilities.com. You'll find information on transportation, workshops, exhibitors, all the great things, and even register. You can do that as well, too. But hey, have you ever just thought about for a minute, and I know you have, the cost to get certain medical supplies, assistive adaptive technologies, wheelchair accessible vehicles, you name it. Just things out there that you need to sustain your life. Medical bills sometimes that come up. And it can be very stressful. I joke around a lot with some friends of mine who are disabled. Some of them are consultants. And we always talk about the disability tax, where we pay higher for everything just because of our disability. And it is not fair. But what if I told you that there is an exhibitor that is doing a workshop at the Abilities Expo 2020 that will help bridge that gap so that we can afford or pay for the things that you and I need. If you don't believe me, maybe after this next interview, you will. And I'm so happy to have with me right now one of the exhibitors of the Abilities Expo in Los Angeles, Help, Hope, Live. We have the executive director, Kelly L. Green, join me. Kelly, what's up? How are you?
What's up, Paul? How are you?
I am doing fantastic. Can't wait to see you in Los Angeles.
What's the weather like out there right now?
It's beautiful. It's gorgeous. You know, it's going to be 70s today, and during the expo, it's going to be like 70, 75. So it's going to be nice and warm beach weather. So you're not going to sneak off to the beach and have fun, are you?
Maybe after.
There you go. There you go. Kelly, thanks again for coming out to the Abilities Expo here happening in Los Angeles. And for ones who are going to be attending this expo and really don't know what Help, Hope, Love is all about, why don't you give us a rundown of what we are going to experience when we come to your booth and also check out your workshop?
So we are a really unique charity, and we are geared to helping people get access to much needed medical devices and therapies and pay for medical bills when oftentimes these things are unaffordable. And so we were started about 37 years ago. And we were started by a heart transplant surgeon who truly had an incredible foresight to start an organization geared to helping people fundraise for their much needed medical needs. So from bills that they can't afford to pay to medical devices that are so desperately necessary, as you can see by the expo and the amount of vendors that are there, explaining what products are available to people. And unfortunately, oftentimes they're unaffordable.
And that's true, Kelly. That's one of the things that I really bothers me. And that's just the affordability of a lot of these great products that we need. Me being a quadriplegic and other ones who are have a disability or sickness is sometimes really out of our price range. So over 30 years ago, this is amazing that someone decided to put this organization together. I mean, and the fact that we're 30 years now in the future from when it started, talk about just how technology has really helped to tell the message a little more to the masses and to help folks out there as well.
So if you think about it, over 30 years ago, nobody even used email, let alone had a cell phone or, let's face it, a Facebook account, an Instagram, all these different mechanisms for connecting with one another. And yet this surgeon had the insight to start this organization to help to raise dollars but most important, bring together a community of support that will help that person who's facing the medical crisis not feel so isolated and not feel so alone, but also not fall into debt to cover much needed medical expenses. These are not fringe benefits. These are medical expenses. And so for this person to have that kind of insight to do this during a period of time where none of these communication tools were really available is really impressive. And it has done nothing but, technology has done nothing but enhance people's ability to fundraise and pull together a community of support. And we see it more and more these days. And especially crowdfunding has become kind of second nature. Oh, you have a medical condition, you're going to need to crowdfund. And that is happening every day. But what we do is we provide access to those tools in a very unique way because we are a charity. And so we protect not only donor dollars, but we protect the people that we work with. And we work with every person facing a medical condition one on one.
I love it. I love it, Kelly, because I know me and a few friends of mine who are disabled, we always joke around and talk about the disability tax. When it comes to devices, that things are a little bit more expensive for us than able-bodied folks with things that they need. And Kelly, when you look at just some of the ones you've been able to help out over the years, this has to be a real gratifying work to not only be able to help ones like that, but to bridge this gap of something that's really needed out there because wheelchairs, medical bills, transportation, and let's take for instance accessible vehicles, wheelchair accessible vans. I am on my fourth van, and
Wow.
I always joke around with people. They're like, "Oh, this is a nice van." I said, "Yeah, I probably could have bought a Mercedes SEC, if I had the, if I didn't have to have an accessible van." But just the expense of a lot of things out there, Kelly, it really blows people away who are not disabled or even in the business to see how much money it costs to just to live with a disability.
It's interesting, and I always start these conversations with this statement. So when you're faced with a spinal cord injury, not only do you now need extensive therapy, a specialized wheelchair, varied equipment, like you said, vans, just to have some semblance of independence, let alone just get to your doctor's appointments. But the first thing you need to do is get out of your house. And you can't get out of your house necessarily if you don't have a ramp. And there's not one insurance company that's going to provide you with a ramp or extend your doorways so you can get into your kitchen or for that matter, your bathroom. So it's really important to have some ability to fundraise or have extreme personal wealth. And that's not necessarily the case in America.
That's true. I know even like with myself, with a certain brand of external catheter that I use, internal catheter I use. I'm sorry, and
Mm-hmm.
my supplier called me the other day and said, "Well, the reimbursement is not that much," and I'm like, "But I need this. I'm active. I need a catheter with a bag on it." So it's just very frustrating, and I'm so glad that there's an organization like Help Hope Live out there that can really help us out. So let's just say, Kelly, that someone comes to the expo and they come up to you and say, "Kelly, I'm having a problem doing this, can't afford this and that." How do they get, I guess, into the Help Hope Love program? How does that work?
Well, the first thing we do is we walk them through what is fundraising. How do you define your community? Who is out there that can assist you? And so we'll walk them through that process. It is as simple to start a fund with us as a phone call. All they need to do is call us, reach out online, start building their fund. So that is, they come to us, you can work one on one. We'll start to build a website. When I say build their campaign, and at that rate, then they start to build their community of support. Once we have secured the verification that that medical condition exists and that they have a community of support that we can help them to work with, then we can make sure that their income levels are verifiable. We then move forward with a fund.
And I love the verification process. Kelly, because your company has been around for many years, has a great reputation. You want to make sure that when you set up a fund for somebody, that it's real, it's credible, and the proceeds are going into the right place. Because how many times have we heard of like GoFundMe and ones were using funds to go to Disney World and all these other things instead of what it was supposed to be done to help people out. So that's really commendable what you guys are doing to verify things. And if you don't mind me asking, Kelly, what's been the most challenging part of getting this message out, or to just to educate people about how this is a really effective way to help out in need, especially when it comes to medical expenses?
So I think the only thing that we need to assistance with is to spread the word that we're here. We're free to anybody who wants to come and join us and have a campaign. And we have a charitable status that can be used. So not only can they fundraise, but you can receive matching gifts and donations from foundations and from corporate America because we protect their assets, because we pay all the vendors direct. There is no chance of fraud. There's no abuse of the funds. It is impossible. And because we verify the medical condition exists, we know that they're campaigning for the right reason. We pay all their medical bills. So once somebody needs us, and they find us. Hopefully, they'll find us through all the medical professionals that we work with. But I think going to these expos is going to be a critical element to make sure that we are there for people who need us most. There is not one vendor in that building that is going to say that everybody can afford their product. It's hard. So what we want to do is make sure that if they find something in that room that they want, that they need, that they feel would help with their progress, we're going to be here to help them purchase it.
Wow, I am blown away by what you guys are doing, and I'm so glad you put these different guardrails in there, because people could have the best intentions when it comes to using funds to take care of medical expenses and everything, but if they control the money themselves, a light bill comes up, a gas bill comes up. I got to, So I'm glad you guys have these guardrails, because they make sure that the funds are used what they're intended for, and we are so happy about that. Kelly, is there anything else about the more about the organization, or anything else you like to articulate to the viewer out there, just about this awesome organization?
Come see us. Do not worry about figuring out who your community is. We will work with you one on one to figure out that community. This is our expertise. This is what we do. And critical element here is one other piece, which I didn't mention. And that is because all the funds are held by Help Hope Live, they are not considered assets. So it would never impact their government-based assistance. And so that's a critical part is we pay all the bills direct. All the funds that come in are held by Help Hope Live. We protect their assets, unlike other crowdfunding mechanisms that are out there that are asset-based fundraising and are oftentimes taxable. So we're a nonprofit and we pay the bills, and we're just here to help, and we'll offer one-on-one assistance, build a web page, and protect your assets. And at the same time, when you're forced to fundraise to meet your medical expenses, we're going to help you through that.
That's huge. That you guys have everything under control, and that's awesome. And Kelly, I had no idea it's been around for 30 years. That's wow. That just shows the longevity of the mission of the organization, and just how awesome. And there's some great success stories, or stories on your website that ones can look out too. And for ones who are out of the area who will not be at the Abilities Expo Los Angeles, how can they find out more information about the organization?
Go to our website, helphopelive.org, and you will find all the necessary information and can actually start the process of building your own campaign.
Awesome. Well, Kelly, I'm looking forward to seeing you in real soon at the Abilities Expo. And do you know the booth number you guys are at? So you can send people over there. If not, I'll just send them to the website. They can do their homework.
I'm not sure. I think it's 142. I'm not certain.
Hey, if not, Kelly, they go to abilities.com. They can check it out, do a little homework,
Yeah,
and everything with
do a
Kelly.
little homework. It does.
There you go. There you go. Well, Kelly,
And I
safe.
know that I'm sitting there also.
Awesome. Well, Kelly, safe journeys to Los Angeles, and
Thank you.
we look forward to seeing you. Okay.
I'll see you there.
Wow. Kelly Green and the fine folks at Help Hope Live are really doing some phenomenal things over there. Last year, over I believe $6.5 million, they were able to pay out in grants or in monies to help people to get vehicles, to pay for medical bills, medical supplies, and that's amazing. And you definitely want to see them at this Abilities Expo in Los Angeles coming up in a few days. Go to our website again, find out some of the great things happening, and look forward to seeing you there. All right, folks, I'm getting ready to get out of here. So until next time, take care, folks. See you in a few days. Take care.
5,